Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Our very own Coco Dominguez was covering Travis Scott's AstroWorld when the tragedy unfolded. She talks about how it felt to be in the midst of the chaos.
And joining us tonight here on The Factor Uncensored is Fox 26 entertainment reporter Coco Dominguez. Coco, you called me immediately after everything went down. I was shocked at what I was hearing from you going on at AstroWorld. In fact, I just couldn't believe it. It had to sink in, but it had to be more difficult for you because you were out there.
Isaiah, I think the most difficult part was not knowing it was happening and you're so close to it. I think that's what was the most hurting part of it. The media area was literally next to medical. And there was no one. I accidentally went in there. I thought I was going back into media after recording a little bit of Drake. But right after that, when things started to really go south, it's when you started to see the people disperse and just start coming in and bringing each other in.
You have been in the entertainment industry and as a journalist covering all of this for years. Have you ever seen anything like this?
The only time, and I don't go to rock concerts, so I will say that a lot of people say they see it in rock concerts and mosh pits and stuff like that. But what I've covered, the only concert that really gets kind of ragey, to me, I mean, I've heard about the other Playboy Cardi. I haven't personally attended, but the ones I've covered, Travis Scott's fans, they just tend to really, they'll do whatever it takes to get to the front. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually in good fun. You know, there have been times in past festivals where the heat, they're overexhausted, they're overheated. This time I just think it was too much and they sat in that area for too long. He was the only performer there that night. So those who came in from the early, as soon as they could get there, they'd been there all day.
Now, I was out there with you, but I left at 5 o'clock when we taped the Isaiah Factor Uncensored show out there Friday night. But I know the first concert that Travis Scott had, and I actually stayed, and I was near the front of the stage. I've never felt that kind of pressure. And Coco, as big as I am, I could not move in that crowd. You're stuck, and you're almost gasping for air.
Yeah, you are. And Isaiah, unless you've seen it or unless you've been around it, then you really don't know how to move in those situations. By the time you figure that you're stuck, sometimes it's too late at that point. You know, you almost have to react quickly and not put yourself in those situations. But for a lot of those festival goers, they're not professional concert goers. They don't know how the crowd moves. They don't know, and they get caught in the, I want to get close to the front, you know, and then it's too dangerous. It's just too dangerous.
Now, you're friends with many of the entertainers that participated here in Houston that are from out of town. How are they reacting to all of this?
I mean, I think everybody's really in shock. You know, it's more of a, wow, did this really happen? You know, it's more, a lot of people are pointing the blame and they're really quick. And I think the big focus right now are the victims, their families, the fans, those who are traumatized, those who have never seen this kind of, you know, bodies or things that they experience from within. I can't even imagine at a young age what they may have gone through. I think that is kind of what most people, I think, are saying. It's just kind of a shock thing.
And one of the things as reporters we don't like to do is focus on ourselves when we're covering situations like this. But how are you doing? Because you were out there, and I know it's got to be difficult for you.
I'm not so great. I don't really even like to talk about it, but it's just I've covered his fans for so long, and they're you know, they're good kids. They got a lot of love, and you can go back to sneaker events that they do. They'll jump those fences, but it's always been in good fun. You know, they're like, I fell down, but I was willing to. I jumped over. I don't care. I want to. But it was just too much for them to handle, so it just kind of hurts, you know.
Yeah, I saw a young girl on television saying she went to a concert to have a good time, not to fight for her life, which is just mind-blowing to hear young people say that, not to fight for my life. Coco, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor.
And of course, if you or someone you know were there and struggling with what happened, please make sure you go out and get some help. Find a mental health professional that can help you navigate through this. You do not have to do it by yourself. Our hearts as well as our prayers are certainly with those families of the 8 who have died and the 11 who are still hospitalized.